But let's get into our first topic. We're talking about Lamar Jackson. And we've talked about Lamar Jackson sometimes at lengths over the course of this show, and especially during the regular season, about his contract, because there was some new reports coming out about his contract, about what he actually is looking for, and ESPN has done its due diligence on reporting about this Lamar Jackson contract. Supposedly, according to reports by ESPN, Lamar is not signing any deal that is not fully guaranteed. And the Ravens made an offer right before the season started of $250 million, with $133 million of that fully guaranteed. And Lamar, and there were reports coming out throughout the year about rumors about what Lamar would want, because he stopped discussion as soon as the regular season picked up, and he said he's going to talk about it during the offseason. The report was the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson were $100 million difference between what the Ravens were looking at and what Lamar Jackson wanted.
On the guarantee.
On the guaranteed money, because that's the important part here. So I'm going to ask you, do you think, based on the way these contract negotiations have gone and the trend that it looks like they will continue to be, do you think Lamar has played his last snap as a Baltimore Raven?
I don't think so. Because I think they'll franchise tag him. You know, he'll be unhappy. And that's the thing. He'll probably request a trade at that point. And they may, I don't know, why would they, you know, if they're going to make him very unhappy, why would they keep him? So they're going to do everything they can to keep him without giving him that guarantee, because that guarantee for somebody like him, who's been hurt twice now, both years, he got hurt last year and this year, right?
Yeah.
And the way he plays, he puts himself at harm's way quite a bit. So I think that that's weighing on the Ravens' mind in terms of a guarantee, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
However, I understand where he's coming from, right? You look at Deshaun Watson's career stats and compare them to Lamar Jackson. I mean, Lamar Jackson's quarterback rating, 96.7 for his career. And I have Deshaun Watson at 79.1, but that can't be right. It's got to be higher than that, because he had 1 year, it was 112. He's had a 98, a 103, a 103, and a 79.7 this past stinker year when he came in late in Cleveland. He played very poorly.
His career passer, what'd you say, 79.1? Yeah. That was this season. His career is 102.3.
102.3. So he's a little higher than, but his rushing yards are 1,800. Lamar has 4,437 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Huh? And not shabby on his passing either. 63.7%, 101 TDs, only 38 interceptions. That's pretty good. Very good. So I think I can understand why Lamar's hanging in there for the big money.
Right.
You look at Kyler Murray, he got 5 years, $230 million, 160 guaranteed.
190 in full guarantees, including everything.
Okay. So, and his career stats, he's played 4 years, 66.8% completion, 13,848 yards, 84 TDs, 41 interceptions, 92.5 quarterback rating. Not as good as Lamar, but a couple of years less experience. And he's got $190 million guaranteed. I mean, the Ravens weren't close.
No.
They weren't close on that. And Lamar's better than Murray, I think. And I think he's better than Deshaun Watson.
I would also agree with you.
Yeah, his character part, the character part of it is Deshaun is a character.
Right. Yeah. I would say that.
I think Lamar should hang in there, see what happens. He can definitely do better than that deal that they offered him the first time.
Right.
Should get a lot more guaranteed money. Whether he can get fully guaranteed or not, over $200 million, I don't know. Because Russell Wilson, he got
161 fully guaranteed. 5 years, $242 million.
Fully guaranteed?
No, 161 was fully
guaranteed. So, you know, I don't think Lamar, he might be should be willing to give a little on the guarantee. Maybe not a lot.
He's going for Lamar Jackson. And I believe I have a report here. According to ESPN, was it Jay Fowler, Lamar Jackson wants a fully guaranteed deal similar to the 5-year, $230 million deal the Browns gave Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
According to sources, Lamar turned down, like I said, the 5-year, $250, $133 fully guaranteed. The way it's looking, it could seem Lamar may force his way out of Baltimore. I do think the way that, Kyler Murray got his contract and Russell Wilson got his contract, I think it's very, very unfair that the Ravens offered him only $131 million fully guaranteed.
I agree.
That's the problem I have here.
That's where they should have gone 190.
That would make sense. Although, Kyler Murray essentially got 190. So I would go
maybe go 200.
I believe I said this exact number. You go 6 years, $300 million, 200 of it fully guaranteed. There's your number right there. The Cleveland Clowns should not be setting the QB market. I'm sorry. If Lamar is going out for $230 million guaranteed because the Browns made that offer, that's where I'm going to disagree with him.
Well, 300 would be $50 million a year.
$50 million a year. But you get him for an extra year.
Deshaun's not making that much. He's getting $46 million a year.
It's $230 million for a 5-year contract, but it's fully guaranteed. So I'm going, you add an extra year, you add $70 more million, but you also drop $30 million of that fully guaranteed. So you're at a contract at $300 million, 6 years, it's $50 million a year, $200 million of it fully guaranteed. Because you know what? Is Lamar worth that? Yes. But here's where I'm going to sort of agree with the Ravens here. The reason why the injuries might not have been a problem is because he wasn't that injury prone. In his career, he's had a total, including college, of 6 injuries where he hasn't missed significant time with each of those injuries, except for these past 2 where he's missed. He only played 12 games each of the past 2 seasons. He's played, I think, 10 of the last 25 games. So now they're becoming a problem. They weren't a problem before, and that's why the Ravens picked him and built the team around him. But now we're looking at it. It may be becoming a problem for Lamar.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's
why it's hard to give him all that guaranteed money.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with that. But are you really going to go back?
If he was a quarterback like Brady, maybe you'd think about it, because Brady's not out there running and putting himself in harm's way, or never did. And he look at his longevity. He only got hurt once.
Correct. Right? Yeah. So. But you know what? Here's the crazy part. The injuries weren't even with him running the ball. It's with him in the pocket getting sacked or on a bootleg and he gets tackled. That's where he's gotten his 2 injuries that have, that's have him miss significant time. And also, the Ravens thought that Lamar could have played in the wild card game against the Bengals. They were expecting him to play, and him not even being there, it left a sour note for them. But is Lamar worth more than Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson's guaranteed money? 1,000% yes. Because we've in recent time, Lamar has been a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. And in Kyler Murray, Lamar is, I think Kyler Murray has a better arm, like arm strength. I don't know about arm talent. That you could leave that.
He's not as good an athlete.
He's not as good of an athlete as Lamar Jackson. I will give you that. Kyler Murray is now afraid to run the football. Lamar, that's how the offense is.
He's had 2,200 yards rushing in 4 years, so that's pretty good.
Absolutely, it's thrilling to watch how Lamar operates. But from the Ravens' perspective, and I've said this from the beginning, since Lamar got all this crazy hype, we better enjoy it while it lasts. Because Lamar's play style does not last long in the NFL. That's just the way it is. Because when you see these hyper athletes, when they're in their prime, that's when you're going to see it. So for all we know, Lamar could be Lamar Jackson the way we see him now for 4 or 5 more years, and then he needs to transition just like Michael Vick did into a more of a pocket passer. And right now, should he be able to do it by the time he needs to? Yeah, he needs to work on that because he's not a great thrower. And people keep picking apart, that 400-yard game against the Browns. Okay, if we're going on one game, that's stupid.
Average completion percentage is 63.7.
That's not great. Bad. That's not great, though.
No, but overall 96.7% quarterback rating.
Like that. That's really good. But we're talking about a great thrower.
Touchdown to interception ratio is very good, right?
He wins games.
He's had 12,000 yards passing. He's averaged in the high 2s. But that's because he's running the ball a lot. He got 4,400 yards in rushing.
No, it's incredible what he's doing. But the simple fact is, the Ravens are looking at it from perspective of historical data of his type of play style doesn't last that long. Now you're seeing recency where he's getting injured twice.
So let's say that the
both are leg injuries too. He had an ankle sprain last let's see. Last year ankle sprain, and then this season you come up, he gets a PCL sprain. So he has 2 leg injuries. That's the big thing here. Leg injuries. Yeah. That's the problem with Zion. He's a big dude and he has leg injuries, which are probably going to plague him the rest of his career.
Yeah. Well,
is this going to plague Lamar?
So
on the same leg,
let's say
too?
that the Ravens can't make a deal with him and they decide to trade him. Who's going to pick him up and give him a $230 million contract fully guaranteed?
Well, here's the interesting thing.
Who's going to give it to him?
If the Ravens put a franchise tag on Lamar Jackson, right? And they would need to do they were hoping for the non-exclusive franchise tag, so no other team can make an offer on Lamar and basically steal him for 2 first-round picks to give back to the Ravens. They're going to go for the exclusive. No team can touch him. I think Lamar does hold out. I do, and he has every right to show up 4 days before preseason and say, "Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?" And they have a brand new offensive coordinator that the report is they just informed Lamar on who they were signing. Lamar had no input on it, and that's the Georgia Bulldogs OC, I believe. So Lamar very well could hold out. Would it shock me? No. Do I think, either side could be a little bit more reasonable? The Ravens need to come up from 133 and Lamar needs to drop down from 230 million or more. I think there needs to be some middle ground. And the problem is you're your own agent. So you're hearing directly from the team why you're not worth the money.
That's why I think he makes a mistake there, being his own agent.
I agree with you.
His mother helps him too, right? I
Yes.
think he and his mother are doing it. I mean, he saves a lot of money. Does he save any money doing that? I don't know. So far, he hasn't gotten the huge contract yet.
I think it's marginal. Yeah. I simply think the money.
If they was traded, who do you think would go after?
The Jets are going to be very interested in him. The Falcons that were rumored to get him. There's another. I mean, the Patriots were even rumored to pick up Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely think if he somehow hits a trade market, I think there'll be a lot. Obviously, there'll be a lot of suitors for him because he's a great talent.
Maybe not the Jets. Maybe not the Raiders or the 49ers or some of those teams where they'll be picking up these other quarterbacks.
Well, we don't know. Derek Carr said he's gonna elongate the process of this to see just how much he's worth.
Well, how quickly do the Ravens have to make a decision?
March 7th is the end of the tag window.
Okay.
And then March 15th is the new year for the NFL. So that's when you get to talk to people, sign free agents. That's when people who aren't on the tag, or I guess after March 7th, who's going to be a free agent entering that new year, the players that don't get tagged. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They still have about 10 days, to get this done. Well, you were looking at, about 10 days, 11 days. So it's going to be difficult because if they put a franchise tag on him, Lamar's going to be like, hey, I just got hurt for the second year in a row. I have no security. I have no security whatsoever.
Yeah.
But once again, I do think, they need to be a little bit more reasonable. He's better than Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. So he deserves at least $191 million, fully guaranteed. The rest of the contract, you can debate.
I mean, when you look at it that way, he demanded $230 fully guaranteed. $230 versus $190 is not that big a difference, right?
Well, I think you would start above $190.
Maybe you go with $200 million guaranteed and $300 million full contract, 7 years.
Even if it's
7 years.
Here's the thing: even if it's 5 years, $250, $200 guaranteed, that's fine. That's fine. But you're not going to get Deshaun Watson money. I think that's unreasonable. Because
that was a mistake. I mean, that was a mistake.
I don't think the Cleveland Browns should set the QB market because look at their franchise. They've had horrible quarterbacks like Brandon Wheaton and Couch and Johnny Manziel. You have all these quarterbacks, and all of a sudden now this is the team that's setting the QB market out here. No, it's ridiculous. They made a bad decision in doing it because they were just trying to overpay.
They made a lot of bad decisions over the years.
Absolutely. So now we're taking a look at it, and Lamar's like, okay, I want that. He's basically just betting on a bad decision to try to, make everything okay, which I think that is definitely a bad idea. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.